A love built on lies. Block 1, a perfect illusion. Ethan had always believed that he and Olivia had the perfect marriage. 5 years together, a beautiful home, and endless laughter, at least, that's what he thought. Olivia was his world, and he had never once questioned her loyalty. That was until he found the first clue, something so small yet so out of place. A single wine glass, sitting in the sink, with lipstick that wasn't hers. Olivia never wore that shade. At first, he brushed it off. Maybe a friend had visited. Maybe he was overthinking. But soon, the small things started to pile up: late-night phone calls, a sudden interest in dressing up for work dinners, and a scent of cologne on her that wasn't his. The doubt crept in, whispering in his mind, but Ethan wasn't ready to listen. Not yet. Block 2, the web of lies. One evening, Olivia was in the shower when Ethan noticed her phone light up. He wasn't the type to snoop, but the message preview sent a chill down his spine. "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you." His breath caught in his throat. His hands trembled as he unlocked her phone. The message was from someone named Jay. He scrolled up, reading their conversations, each word twisting the knife deeper into his chest. "I wish I could be with you every night. I miss your touch." Ethan suspects nothing. "We're safe." His heart pounded. His body felt numb. The woman he loved, the woman he had devoted his life to, was lying to him. But why? And more importantly, what was he going to do about it? Block 3, the confrontation that never came. Ethan sat in silence, his hands gripping the edge of the kitchen counter as Olivia hummed softly in the shower upstairs. He wanted to storm in, demand the truth, make her admit to what she had done. But something held him back. He wanted more. More proof. More answers. More understanding of why. So he played along. He smiled when she came downstairs, acting as if nothing had changed. He kissed her forehead, asked about her day, and told her he loved her. She smiled back, her eyes filled with warmth, and for a split second, he wondered, was it all a lie? Or had she ever truly loved him? Block 4, the game begins. Over the next few days, Ethan became a ghost in his own home, watching Olivia closer than ever before. Every move she made, every call she answered, every excuse she gave, it all painted a clearer picture of her deception. One night, when she left for one of her work dinners, Ethan followed her. She wasn't going to a restaurant. She wasn't meeting coworkers. She was walking into a luxury hotel. And she wasn't alone. A tall, well-dressed man greeted her at the entrance, placing a hand on her lower back as they disappeared inside. Ethan felt his world shatter. But instead of confronting her, he took out his phone and started recording. Block 5, the truth unfolds. When Olivia returned home later that night, Ethan was waiting for her in the living room. The moment she saw him, her smile faltered. "Hey, babe," she said, setting down her purse. "You're still up?" Ethan leaned forward, his elbows resting on his knees. "Yeah. Couldn't sleep." She nodded, avoiding his gaze. "Long day?" "You could say that." A pause. A deep, suffocating silence. Then Ethan picked up his phone, turned the screen toward her, and hit play. The video of her walking into the hotel with another man filled the room. Olivia's face drained of color. Her lips parted, searching for words, but none came. And Ethan just watched. Waiting. Because now, she was the one with something to lose. Block 6, the moment of truth. Olivia's hands trembled as she reached for Ethan's phone, her face frozen in shock. "Ethan. I can explain." "Explain?" He let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. "Go ahead, Olivia. Explain how you ended up in a hotel with another man. Explain why you've been lying to my face for God knows how long." Tears welled in her eyes, but Ethan wasn't sure if they were out of guilt or fear of being caught. "It's not what you think," she whispered. Ethan clenched his jaw. "Then tell me what it is." She hesitated. Too long. And in that moment, he knew she had no excuse that could undo this. Block 7, cracks in the mask. Olivia's breathing was unsteady. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she finally said, voice barely above a whisper. Ethan scoffed. "That's the best you've got?" She wiped her tears. I was lost. You've been so distant lately, and I felt like I wasn't enough for you anymore." Ethan's grip on the phone tightened. "So you decided to sleep with someone else?" "It wasn't like that," she cried. "At first, we were just talking, and..." Ethan raised a hand, stopping her. He had heard enough. "You had a choice, Olivia. And you made the wrong one." Her lower lip quivered. "Please, Ethan, don't do this. We can fix this. I love you." But did she? Because love wasn't supposed to feel like betrayal. Block 8, the breaking point. Ethan stood up, his body tense. "You know what the worst part is?" His voice was eerily calm. "I would have fought for you. If something was wrong, if you felt like we were drifting apart, all you had to do was talk to me. But instead, you made me the fool." "Ethan." "No." His voice was sharp now, cutting through the air like a blade. "We're done, Olivia." Her face twisted in panic. "You don't mean that." But he did. He had never been more certain of anything in his life. Block 9, the last goodbye. Ethan turned away, walking toward the door. His heart ached, his mind screamed at him to say something, to demand a better reason, to make her regret every single lie. But he wouldn't give her the satisfaction. She didn't deserve his anger. She didn't deserve anything from him anymore. When he reached the door, he glanced back one last time. Olivia was standing there, eyes wide, her perfect little world crumbling around her. "Ethan, please." He exhaled slowly. "Goodbye, Olivia." And then, he walked out, leaving behind the woman he once thought he'd spend forever with. He deserved better. Final block, the most unexpected ending. Ethan stood at the door, his fingers gripping the handle. His heart pounded, not from heartbreak, but from something else, realization. He turned back, eyes locking onto Olivia's. Her face was soaked in tears, but this time, he wasn't sure if they were real. She was a master at pretending. And then, he did something she didn't expect. He smiled. Not out of forgiveness. Not out of love. But because, in that moment, Ethan knew exactly what he had to do. "You know what, Olivia?" His voice was eerily calm. "You're right. Maybe we can fix this." Her eyes widened in shock. We can." He nodded. "Yeah. But first, I need to grab something from the car." "Wait here." Hope lit up her face as she nodded eagerly. Ethan stepped outside, closing the door behind him. He walked to his car, slid into the driver's seat, and drove away. He never looked back. No calls. No texts. No long, dramatic confrontations. Just silence. Because sometimes, the best revenge was in anger. It was walking away, without giving them the chance to hurt you again.